Hey, thank you for joining me on my channel. Today we are going to do something really exciting. As you know, I love the Ninja Foodi oven and I have upgraded to the 14-in-1. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, as well as I'm going to answer some questions about what it can do. And then stick around, we are going to make some fresh homemade pizza. So thank you for being here. Let's get going. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. As you know, I love the Ninja Foodi Smart Oven, Flip Oven, 8-in-1, 14-in-1, Smart Dual Heat. It's got so many different names, so many versions. And so I have upgraded now to the model number is SP350. Mine I find is an exclusive with QVC, but there is a 13-in-1, which is a model SP301. One's coming to market, SP3. It's also confusing. They've packed in so many different version numbers, 13-in-1, 14-in-1, 15-in-1. They pretty much all do very similar things. The big difference between the earlier model I had was the height and the sear plate. The additional height adds a lot of possibilities for some foods like baked potatoes, which are a little taller, and some different deeper casseroles. So that allowed some variation there. And then of course the sear plate allows this flat baking pan, flat nonstick surface that you can get really hot to sear meats, to cook a good crust on a pizza, a number of different things. And so that's why I upgraded. But I really think the 13, the 14, and the 15-in-1 are probably all very similar, just a few little feature differences here and there. The question I get asked all the time is, can it reheat foods? And we're so conditioned to kind of reheat a lot of things in the microwave, but microwaves don't reheat everything well. Anything that has a bread base or a crispy coating to it, they just don't come out nice in a microwave. And so you go to a restaurant, maybe you go to fish and chips, which we do actually. We live on the coast, and so we get fish and chips. And I would just kind of not bother bringing them home if I had a little bit of fries. Fries aren't usually worth keeping. Well, they are now, because you put them in the air fryer basket, you put the fish on there, the crisp, and you just heat it up on some air crisp or air bake. There's lots of different options. This model of the oven actually has a reheat feature, but I've just put it in the bake and watched the time, and it's been wonderful. The coating comes out crispy, the fries are freshened up, and they got a nice crisp and fluffiness on the inside. And so it's a wonderful thing to reheat a number of different items. And so please know that right from the front, that you absolutely can reheat. All right, so we are going to make pizza. Yay, who doesn't like pizza? Now, you can make a frozen pizza, and I've showed that already in the first video that I made on the Ninja Foodi, and you of course can continue to do that in this oven as well, in the upgraded models. They actually have a frozen pizza feature that you put on the sear plate, and it supposedly cooks it 30 to 50% faster. There is a dual heat part of this oven, and that's what they claim, is that you can cook things faster. Just in your experience, plan to burn some items or undercook some items as you try to judge that on the temperature. They give you in the manual some hints as to what, standard boxed baking goods or different things, how long those will cook and how to adjust your recipe. I just cook the pizza in the oven as directed on the package, and it works fine. Frozen pizza is what, 12 minutes? Maybe? Do you really need to go a whole lot faster than that? So, don't do whatever you want to do. I don't bother with the fast heat or the fast bake. But we're going to make fresh pizza today because that's one of the differences with the sear plate. You've got basically like this pizza stone sort of idea that's really hot, solid. Rather than cooking on a cookie sheet on a wire rack, you've got this really preheated sear plate that is supposed to give the crust a nice texture. So we're going to try this. This is my first time doing it, and I'm going to share my experience with you. Of course, whatever you want to top your pizza with, customize it for you, but follow along with what I do. Okay, one of the first things we want to do is to remove the wire basket and the wire rack out of here and only use the sear plate. And we need to preheat this. And so we're going to turn the dial, select mode for dual heat. We are going to drop down to fresh pizza, select temperature 500 degrees, select time. They suggest about an 8-minute preheat of the sear plate, and start. All right, while that's preheating, just a couple things that I want to let you know that they suggest. The first thing is you want to have oven mitts that are rated for high temperatures for 500 degrees. These are silicone coated, and so it helps to make sure the heat doesn't, first of all, burn the mitt itself, but also hurt your hands, because we're going to be pulling out that tray and the sear plate, and we want to make sure that we don't get burned. Another thing that they suggest when putting the pizza into the oven, that you are going to want to have what is called a pizza peel. I didn't know that was the name, but the manual calls it a pizza peel. We happen to own one. If you don't own one of those, then they suggest that you take on your cutting board and you roll out your pizza dough on a cut piece of parchment to fit the sear plate. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I recommend getting pre-cut 12-inch squares of this parchment paper. And so that link is in the description below. And just know that I'm not sponsored by that, but it is an Amazon link, and I get a small commission for every purchase that you make from one of my links. And so thank you for doing that if you so choose to do that. I find the pre-cut parchment is so nice. You can get the roll of parchment and cut it and fold it and do all that stuff. Way easier. And for me, life is about easier when it comes to some of the things that you can speed up. And so we're going to get the pizza dough and we're going to go ahead and roll it out to no larger than 12-inch pizza, because that's all the sear plate can handle. And let's get going. You've got to see this. This is the preheating, and the elements underneath that sear plate get really hot. Bright red, bright orange. Okay, that last little bit, that was a little challenging. Maybe I should have rolled it out on the board, but, I don't know. Hopefully it will slide into the oven much better than it got onto the peel. Okay, so we chose toppings of mozzarella and Parmesan. We love mushrooms and onions. So that's the variety of pizza that we are making here today. But of course you can put any topping on there and make it virtually the same way. And so let's go ahead and pop it in the oven, see how it goes. All right, the oven has preheated. It's went through actually the whole cycle of cooking pizza. So we're going to start this up again in mode, fresh pizza, 500 degrees. And this time we're going to change the time for cooking for 7 minutes. And I already have the sear plate fully hot. And so I'm not going to press start. The instructions say press start, and then you could adjust the time once it's in after you've done that. But let's go ahead and give this a shot. I have a spatula handy just in case. Yeah, it's not sliding off. So what I should do, and I would recommend doing, is to make it on the parchment paper. Alternate instructions say to cook it in on the parchment paper, just to slide the whole paper into the oven for about 3 minutes into the bake, and then pull. There we go, that's what I expected. And then to pull the parchment paper out. So if I ever make that again, that's exactly how I'm going to do it, and I would recommend you do it that way. So go ahead and start. Okay, I said I'm not a trained chef, nor am I an expert with the Foodi oven, and sponsored by the company in any way. So I'm just a home cook like you, trying to make this thing work, and let's learn together. And so we learned a better way to do it. They offer both options in the recipe booklet on how to make the pizza, but I think that the parchment paper idea is probably a better idea. That was a bit comedic. And so once again, follow that link, or use that link in the description below, and get yourself a stack of that parchment paper, because it's useful in so many things that we cook, from cookies to frozen fish and calamari, and you know, different things where you don't want it in the air fry basket, but you'd also want to just make sure it comes out easy from the oven and doesn't leave a lot of mess. I love parchment paper. All right, we're going to give it a little bit of time, and then I'm going to show it to you as it comes out of the oven, and hopefully this will be wonderful. Okay, the timer just went off. It smells incredible. It is sizzling. Let's pull this pizza out. Wow, that's beautiful. Ran off the side there a little bit. That's okay. Just a beautiful, dare I say, artisan pizza. Let's pull that out. Let it cool and rest just a little bit, and I'll slice it and give it a try. Look at how beautiful that is. The mushrooms and the onions release a little bit of moisture that's kind of floated there to the top. That's okay. An incredible looking pizza. All right, I was going to do my best not to give brand names because I didn't really want to promote anything. But I have a feeling I'm going to get asked this. The pizza dough, pre-made pizza dough, we got in that package from Trader Joe's. The variety I got was garlic and herb crust. So that should be really good. It comes in a 16-ounce bag. The recipe for that the Ninja Foodi suggests, if you want thin crust, I think was to use 12 ounces or something, 10 ounces. Thick crust, 14 ounces. So we like really thick crust, and I didn't want to portion it off, so I just used the whole crust. And that's why it came out so thick on the edges. And that's probably also what caused to create the well for the cheese to pour out the side. Again, it's fine. It's artisan, right? The other thing is, as I was putting on that sauce, I didn't make my own sauce. And I was, again, not going to promote the brand. But as I was pouring that out there, it was so beautiful with the piece of basil in there as I spread it across. And so the brand that we used, that I just used, was Rao's homemade marinara sauce. And as I understand it, it's very low in sugar compared to a lot of the other pre-made sauces. So I just think it's going to be a great pizza, and I hope that you have enjoyed this. Let's give it a taste. Not a fan of being filmed while I'm eating, but I think I gotta try this and let you have my first reaction. It just smells so good. Mmm. Cheesy, yummy, hot, crispy crust on the bottom layer, doughy as it gets further up. Great flavor. Great flavor. I hope you enjoy this. All right, homemade pizza. Wow. It tasted good, and of course your preferences for crust flavor and toppings will make all the difference for you, but the cooking process worked great. The bottom of the crust had a nice good crisp to it, and the inside was fluffy as the crust rose. It was wonderful. Of course, I had a few challenges getting it from the board that I rolled it on onto the peel and into the oven. So I would do as, it wasn't suggested, it was offered as another option. And I would choose that other option to roll it out on a piece of parchment, slide that parchment right onto the sear plate, and a few minutes into the cooking of the pizza, just open it up and pull that parchment out so that the crust can crisp up properly. Otherwise, it was as easy as could be. And as I keep saying in lots of the videos on cooking food, one of the advantages of using this oven as opposed to your household oven is the energy spent to get a full-size oven up to heat and maintain that heat. I just think that the smaller oven, intuitively I feel this way. I don't have any science to back it, but it just seems to make sense that it's going to get to heat quicker and not take as much energy keeping the heat. So cook that pizza, have a great time doing it. Roll out that dough with some kids if you've got them in your family. Each make personal sized pizzas. Have a great time doing it. It's fun and it's easy and it's a great meal. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you liked it, and if you did, would you like and subscribe and share this video? And go ahead and watch all my other type of content besides the Ninja Foodie and cooking options. I think you'll enjoy yourself here. I'll see you next time as we try another food and one of the other features of this oven.
I want my pizza.